Welcome to Brewing with Power, and I'm so excited today. I'm bringing you a stacks deck. I don't really make that many stacks decks, and this one just shouted out to me because my wife is awesome. She told me to make a Mardu deck, and I was like, all right, I'm going to do it. So here is Jirina, Kudro. I don't know the first part, but that doesn't matter because this deck is known as Lisa Kudro, and I'm happy about it. Before we get into today's video, I wanted to talk quickly about our sponsor, moxfield.com. Moxfield is the best website for brewing and building your Magic the Gathering decks. It has tons of tools available that make building your new deck a breeze. Whether it be quick search, packages for quick adding of cards, multiple format support, and sorting options that fit your style, Moxfield is the best place to brew and build your MTG decks. Once you've built your deck, there are easy ways to use links to purchase your deck over at places like TCG Player to ensure you get the great price of cards you purchase. We at Playing with Power use Moxfield for all of our decks. Once we discovered Moxfield and saw how easy it was to build decks, we brought all of our decks over to this system. It's free to sign up and free to use. Be sure to check out our link in the description and give Moxfield a try today. Listen, I at first didn't know what I could do or figure out where I was going. What I ended up with was interesting, and I hope you all get a chance to enjoy this. Let's talk about this commander for it. Miss Kudro is a legendary creature, human soldier. When Jirina Kudro enters the battlefield, create a 1/1 white human soldier creature token for each time you've cast a commander from the command zone this game. Other humans you control get +2/+0. Interesting. I was like, let's run stacks. It's stacks time. Let's do the stacks thing. So we have a bunch of hate bears and a bunch of annoying things in our 99. Let's start off with Esper Sentinel. It's a good old slot. It's a human. What's cool about Esper Sentinel and Jirina is that Esper Sentinel becomes a 3/1. So it makes it a lot harder to pay for Esper Sentinel tax. Oh, love it already. We have Ragavan because who doesn't like things that make you mana and draw you cards, kind of. Saracen is a human monk, and I like hitting people in the face for 8 damage. That seems like a way to win a game. That's what happens with Jirina. Cathar Commando is just an amazing card. It's a good human. It becomes a 5/1 because I like 5/1 blockers. I can block Crom and then do things. Dark Confidant becomes a 4/1. Dothy, well, you're just Dothy, come on now. Dockside makes mana. Dranith, it becomes a 3/3, like, oh, gross. Aethersworn Canonist, because I like Rule of Law. Grand Abolisher becomes a 4/2. Sanctifier on Vec. Ugh, no one's having graveyards in this game. We have Spirit of the Labyrinth to stop people from drawing. Thalia for stacks effects, Archon for Rule of Law effects, Aven Mind Sensor because who doesn't like a bird wizard that makes you unable to look in your deck for things that I don't want you to have. Eidolon of Reddick, another Rule of Law Imperial Recruiter, is a great card for us to look for Docksides or Magnets of the Moons. Gross. Opposition Agent, again, because I don't want you to look through your library. Ranger Captain Nevios, because there's not enough silences in this deck. Sanctum Prelate, because who wants you to cast your Thassa for 2 mana when I don't want you to do that? So guess what you're not going to be able to do is you're not going to be able to cast spells with CMC2. That's just going to be the forever. Skyclave Apparition, because I like exiling your things. Thalia, because again, I want your stuff tapped. Timna, because I don't know. It's a good card in other decks. I don't know. I just added it. It's also human, a 4/2. Whoa, lifelink. Ugh, gross. Vryn, Wingmere, because I need your stuff to cost more. Angel of Jubilation. Other non-black creatures you control get +1/+1. Players can't pay life or sacrifice creatures to cast spells or activate abilities, and that seems to be a great thing to do. Linvala, because if you do have creatures, I don't want you to tap them to do things that are fun for you. Loxodon Gatekeeper. Ugh. One-sided things are always rough. And Chancellor of the Annex, because I like my pregame effects to counter your turn 1 plays. Okay. Sorceries are pretty basic. We have Gamble, Imperial, Vandal Blast, which is spicy, Demonic Tutor, Diabolic Intent, Jessica's Will, and Praetor's Grasp. All of these cards are really, really good. Good things for me, bad things for you. That's the theme of this deck. Our interactive package is so spicy. I was just over the moon when I was looking at the different cards that I wanted to run in this. So we have Deadly Rollick because we want to get this card out pretty quick. Deflecting Swat, again, we want to get Jirina out pretty fast. Slaughter Pact. What? Oh, So good. Snuff Out. Oh my gosh, you can't get away because all our stuff is free or 1 mana. Enlightened Tutor, Orange Chant, Pyroblast, Red Elemental Blast, Silence. That's right. That's our second silence that you've seen in our instance alone. Swords, Plowshare, Vampiric Tutor, and our third silence. Disenchant, Heliod's Intervention, because I like destroying people's artifacts and enchantments, and in white that can be really challenging. Imp's Mischief, because who doesn't want to make your spells go to a different target. Tainted Pact, Withering Boon, because I like being able to counter Thassa's Oracle. I couldn't really get it so I could run Torpor Orb effects in this deck, so instead I decided to run a Black Essence Scatter. Okay, it's okay. And then we have Ricochet Trap. Again, just we want the free interaction. It's so much fun. All right, for our artifacts, we have Chrome Mox, Lotus Petal, Mana Crypt, Arcane Signet, and Null Rod. One of the things that I did want to make sure was understood is I'm not running cards like Jeweled Lotus, because in a 3-color commander, that card doesn't seem as great. It gets rid of like a command attack, sure, but it didn't really get to where I needed it to go. With our enchantments, we have Deafening Silence, Planar Void, Blind Obedience, Chains of Mephistopheles, Rest in Peace, Suppression Field, Underworld Breach, Blood Moon, Grasp of Fate, Rule of Law, and Leyline of the Void. There's possibility for us to have 3 pregame effects with Chancellor of the Annex, Leyline of the Void, and a Gemstone Caverns. Could you imagine being in the game where Chancellor of the Annex and Leyline of the Void were both put on the battlefield? Like, oh my god, absolutely not. That is just that's trash. I don't want it, but I want it. You know what I mean? At least there's no Void Winnower in here. With Chains of Mephistopheles, I really am trying to empty people's hands. I cannot fight through card draw. Like, it's so hard for this deck to do that, so I decided to run Chains of Mephistopheles to stop that from happening. Additionally, I had another card in the deck that made people discard it when they played a spell, but it became too hard because I don't have card draw, and I don't want to discard my own hand. That seems rough. So I ran that Planar Void, Rest in Peace, really good against... Like, I'm really seeing a lot of graveyard interaction. I don't want that to happen, and so I'm gonna stop it through these kind of effects. And then we have 29 lands. Lands are basic lands. Nothing too nuts. We are on a Tainted Pact mana base because I want to be able to tutor through an opposition agent. When you look at this deck, there's a lot of things that I thought were good, some things that I thought might not be good. The first thing that I want to address, and I'm still going back and forth on this, is should I run Elish Norn? Elish Norn seems right? This, like, it's a good card. It is a good card, but in this deck, it just doesn't come out in time. Like, it does help close the game out when we get to the late part of the game, but it is just such a long game for me to get there. Without the card draw I have, I'm really just trying to get people down with just my commander and a bunch of creatures. It's just tough, but for y'all, I'm gonna do it. So let's cut a different card that seems also difficult to get. I think Angel of Jubilation might be the card I run. I really like the, oh man, it's tough. I really like this card too. Maybe I'm being a little too cautious. Maybe that's what the case that's happening right now. And I could cut something else. Let's look at what we might want to cut for this. I don't know. I just don't see it. I think it's going to be too hard. So for now, we're going to put this in considering. Okay. Now we've seen the deck. Let's take a look at the mana values, right? We have 3 permanents with a mana value of 0, 5 permanents, mana value of 1, 17 permanents with a mana value of 2. Earlier I said I'm going to put this Sanctum Prelate at 2, and I'm not going to do that after seeing this. And this is why you look at this, because when you're looking at this, you can take a look and see, oh, am I making an actually good decision, or is this a terrible trash decision right now? And yeah, it was a bad idea. So it looks like Sanctum Prelate might be at 0. Yeah, it might be a 0 thing. We could also put it at a value of 1, but I don't know if we need to. A lot of our interactive spells are at 1, so I feel like 0 might be the best way to go. When we look at a deck, we have 51% of our symbols are white, 23 are black, and 18 are red. This is exactly what we want to see in terms of the mana production. It seems to be very even. We're not running ad nauseum, so it doesn't really matter, but it is 1.44 for average CMC. These are what our opening hands could look like. I put all of our interaction at 1 or 2 because I wanted to be able to like really use every piece of open mana that we have. So let's play test the deck. When we go to the deck, I am not keeping this opening hand because no way. This hand looks very similar. We need 2 lands to make the deck work, so we're gonna be here, I guess. So let's go ahead and draw. We'll play a land, pass, draw. This land has to get a, man, we need white. So we have to get the other dual land. View all. Sometimes words escape me, and when that happens, I have to literally go through the entire deck. Godless Shrine, hey, found it. Okay. Godless Shrine, and we're going to slow it down with an Aether-Sworn Canonist. That's what we have to do. You know, we got to do what we got to do. Go to our next turn. Emergent Zone. Okay, that's a card. We will tap 3, and we will just cast Thalia. Like, it has to be slow. Like, this is how this deck is going to work. Chancer of the Annex is not a card I want, but it is a card I got. We're going to put Blind Obedience, right? We're just going to, we're just going to do it all that we can. Back up. Go to the next thing, Suppression Field, right? So we're just hard. Now the board is like just hard stacked out. It's like really tough. We'll go ahead and cast our commander, make all of these humans bigger, start attacking, and then we cast Timna. Here we go. We'll draw. Yep, and that's pretty much the game plan, and it's just slow plays, baby. All right. In here. Okay, this is a trap hand. It seems like we have a Dockside, we have a Crypt, we have the ability to cast our commander early. However, we have an Enlightened Tutor, and a Silence and some interaction. It would be really hard to win with this deck, like this hand. Like, let's go the first draw, second draw, third draw, fourth draw, fifth draw. It's control, but it's so slow that we would be able to do anything. Withering Boon, Urza Saga, Null Rod. Probably not. Probably not a keep. I would keep this hand in a heartbeat. So we go to draw, play this, cast. We can cast this. We can also cast a Rest in Peace turn 1, which is really good, but I feel like getting out the Ragavan is better. Crack this, go here, view all, grab a... this is actually pretty important. Red, white, red, black. I think Badlands. Okay. Get a Badlands, play Ragavan. Hardcast them, pass. Go to our next turn. Play a Tarnished Citadel. Move to combat, swing. Tap this for white. Have colorless floating. That's fine. We have a treasure. We can just go to the next turn. Yeah. All right, from here we're pretty good. We're set. We can cast this to look for another piece of interaction or another big creature. We can cast our commander. We can start moving our plan ahead. Okay. Sure, I would keep this. It's really awkward. It's really awkward hand, but it is what it is. Prismatic Vista for a white card. Do we have a basic planes? Ooh, we don't. Okay, that's actually important. Let's get out of here. Basic planes do not have it. So actually I'm going to cut Prismatic Vista rather than put in a planes. Or I'll cut Prismatic Vista for a planes. Actually, that might be what I do. Yeah. There's no point in running Prismatic Vista in this deck. All right. Okay. yeah, so that's pretty much like what the deck is trying to do. It's trying to just be slow. It's hard to, I realized this as I was doing it. It's really hard to goldfish these kind of decks, but it is what it is. I hope you enjoyed this. This is a hard stacks list. I'm pretty sure you could run more humans to make it a little bit more efficient, but overall, Mardu is a really interesting color wheel, and I think that could be really interesting. I really like this interactive package. I feel like you just do a lot more than what a lot of decks that are trying to stack the game out can do. So yeah, let me know what you think in the comments. Give us a like, and if you have any questions, hit us up. We do have a Discord. If you haven't seen it, it does exist. Join our Patreon to get access to it. We have a tournament coming up soon. If it hasn't happened already by the time this airs, or you can just check us out and ask us questions and join the Patreon because of all of the benefits you get, including cool things like leagues and access to games that we play constantly on the channel. So if you have any other questions or concerns, let us know. Otherwise, hope you all have a good one. We will talk to you soon.